and whatever the government is also trying to promote about weight loss, but these things don't happen overnight. Weight gain, and a lot of people have been eating a lot more in this time of lockdown. Some people have said they've got a working fridge in their office or in their kitchen area. So eating more than your body's desires also makes you put on weight and makes you bloated. Eating out of time, eating in stress, those things really make, and it's one of the biggest king organ, which is in a shape of a form of a pear. So if you take a pear and you put it a little bit on the tilted side, you swallow and the food goes and sits at the bottom. Now, how do you end up having ulcers or acid reflux when there's hydrochloric acid sitting at the base of the stomach that doesn't destroy the stomach lining? Surely there's something really disruptive in the person's diet and their kind of food they eat, or the combinations that makes that stomach area or the lower intestinal area bloated. Jinu apa kende afrema. Which is very common, कि पेट अफर जाता है. So even yesterday we were dealing with it. Even today I'll be going back and dealing with young girls, 30, 40 years old. Even Friday is all to do with stomach issues and digestion. So I thought it's something we need to deal with, because the longer the food stays, it's going to ferment there and create a lot of gas. So much gas that it will then either make you feel sick, or you'd want to vomit, or it will rise up to the head and make you feel dizzy, or headaches, and triggers of maybe even migraine could trigger off because the food is not being appreciated by the stomach, and that's triggered off some nasty symptoms. Consuming and drinking food for some people is pleasure. For some people, it's craving. For some people, it's discipline, good timing. So everybody varies. And that's what perturbed me to say, since the government is also now making public aware about weight and food, and Britain being one of the most obese countries in Europe, with 1 in 3 children in junior schools obese and overweight. Now that's a serious cause of concern. And these are the children who then head on to early diabetes, blood pressures, and cholesterol issues.
All those breathing problems.
Breathing, we are not too sure.
Can actually makes you breathe difficult if you are overweight.
If your stomach is a bit too puffed upwards, then they have less energy to run, and keeping that food down for some people is difficult. So this is the reason why I thought we'll discuss this topic today, where people, after some time, the metabolism slows down and they end up having a pot belly, or a beer belly, or a wheat bag, and that's so common with men and equally common with women. Even when hormones change for women, or after pregnancy or cesarean, sometimes the stomach doesn't set back in. But these days, younger and younger girls are having abdominal issues and abdominal cramps and larger abdomens too, which they can't tone down because of their cravings of foods. So stomach is seen as a seat of hunger, where you should eat when in good times, that those are the right times of the day to eat your food. Missing meals also can make you have a sluggish metabolism that will make you put on weight. So all those things need to be looked at, or a poor combination of meals, or not even chewing properly can make so much difference. So if you're chewing too fast, that is not a good point of digestion, because the stomach cannot break down this food any further. So grinding with the teeth is of paramount importance. Having the right balanced saliva is of really great importance. And these 5 taste buds that we have in our tongue are the ones that make you crave, or because you probably have missed breakfast, you'll probably say, oh, I'll have a donut, or I'll have a bagel, or I'll have a croissant. And all those are like saturated fats, which are not very good. And the moment you keep long gaps of no food, then the body will start slowing down the breakdown of the food, because it's seeing starvation.
Okay,
So,
okay, right.
ਭੁੱਖ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਰੱਖ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ, not even
Hanji,
animals,
hanji,
they
ji,
would also feel hungry, है ना?
ji, bilkul.
Yeah, so that's very important. And then chewing is very important. If you don't chew and you just gulp down, serious problems. And people who have had bad combinations of food over time end up having acid refluxes, which can
Okay.
cause heartburn. So this patient I consulted over the weekend, she uses 3 pillows and sits upright all night. And if she does fall
Oh,
asleep, she falls asleep. Otherwise, it would be just discomfort
oh
all.
my
And
God.
religiously would need to take painkillers every day. Now
Oh.
that's really bad. That's a huge load on the liver and doesn't help the gastric reflux even,
Hmm.
because then that's acid and the chemicals of these drugs sometimes don't help the liver as well. है ना?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
very important what you eat and how you eat. And I think social we are social mammals or animals. Wherever you go, even if you've eaten, you still end up eating more and not say, look, I've eaten, I think I'm quite satisfied.
Huh,
है ना?
huh.
So you should be able to clock off and cut off that time and say, I don't think I need to eat now because you've had a meal. But there's so much that there's out there in colors or in the quality or the quantity of food that you'll end up just piling your plate.
That's
And Indian
true.
weddings, there's never a shortfall of fried food or sweets or mithai, which is one of
Yeah,
the
that's
biggest
true.
problems. If we can target in this country the sugar and the consumption of sugar and drop down this deadly white sugar, which is even worse than an addiction of a drug like cocaine. There was some studies done, I've spoken about this before, on mice and rats where they were actually having cocaine. And when the scientists actually, by the same cage, put the sugar, they gave up the cocaine and got addicted to sugar. And that's how
Okay.
addictive it is, that
Towards sugar.
yeah. And Purani Zamane, there used to be the molasses and the other brown sugars, which were consumed in little moderation, or sugar cane juice, as the fruit, and the juice was for the heat, which was good for the liver, so you don't end up having jaundice. So
Right.
sugarcane
Okay.
juice has got its benefits, but this seafood diet is just a serious problem wherever you go, and especially in malls or in petrol stations or shops. The first thing in front of you before paying is a whole track of
Right.
sweets and sugars. And I think that's becoming now going to be an issue that they need to be put away.
I
That was announced
know.
yesterday. So I think
Yeah, it's in the
never too
news.
late, but a lot of things have been done far too late by the government, because we are seriously loading the NHS system for things that we can take control. है ना?
Yes, yeah.
And like I said, starving also, or making yourself miss meals because you want to lose weight, because you think you've put on weight, also is not very good. So every time it has to be balanced meals, good timing, and good combinations, because the brain chemicals start sending messages. And if you have a big pattern of no food, then you will end up making the worst and the wrong choices. So even for
Okay.
shopping, never go on an empty stomach, always go on a full stomach. You'll end up buying the most rubbish food.
Exactly. That's good trick. That's a really good
Go
thing
with full
to.
wholesome food,
Yeah.
and then you'll go to the colored sections of the vegetable kingdom and the fruit kingdom.
Yes, yeah.
And your brain will respond equally to that much better, है ना?
Yeah.
So very important to look at those kind of foods. And a huge amount is being done. I think nearly you can say, like in South India, they'll start off with dosa. In Punjab, they'll start off with the fried chapati paratha. When you look at Europe, they will look at cold meats and croissants. If you look at Russia, it's always cheese and cold meats. And if you look at England, it's always in the cereal world is also big, and that also is all of it. Some people we have gluten sensitivity, some have celiac, some people will bloat with cereals, and dairy. The combination of the two is just not very good, and I don't advise that.
Yeah.
There are other substitutes, Hannah.
And what about, is there any difference between cold cheese and melted cheese? Is a melted cheese become like more fatty
It is more
than
fatty.
cold is a healthy, or what's the difference?
Well, there's low fat cheese is better to go for, and those even cold cheeses, they have been compacted and they do have high fat, but now there's so much choice of going for cold low-fat cheeses,
Okay.
and then go for a few range of soft cheeses,
Okay.
like the feta or the sheep or the goat cheese.
Okay.
Those
And the
are better.
mature cheese is better than the mild one, like which
Not
we
really.
get,
They still
no?
have fat. Look
Still
at
fat.
everything. There are
Okay.
labels there. There's, I mean, no, there's matter of taste.
Oh,
It
okay,
will
okay,
taste
okay.
mild, stronger, and you might like it a little
Oh,
more.
okay.
But do it in moderation. Yes,
Okay.
melted cheeses are seriously very high in fat.
Yes, yeah.
So, and that comes in the pizza world. There's no shortage of that. That one food is eaten globally
Yes,
around
yeah.
the world. And when your brain chemicals respond to starvation, or the small intestine sends signals to the brain to eat more, you'll make the worst choices. Not forgetting the sweet and the candy world, where people are so addicted to the sugar world, because sugar actually converts to alcohol in the stomach lining, which is not very good. So if you're a vegetarian and you say, oh, I don't drink alcohol, but you're having plenty of Indian mithai and laddu and pede and gulab jamna and rasgulle, that's a conversion of alcohol. So become
Oh
mindful
my
of that.
God.
Yeah. So bloatedness, stomach acidity, stomach reflux, stomach pains, and absentee of children. 70% of the absentee in school of children is actually because of stomach pain, but they can't explain. But it's actually bloatedness. So there's too much
okay.
combinations of food.
Right.
And like we spoke about Indian feasts, and things have changed now. So I guess things won't be as big presentations of foods now, because anywhere the gatherings are going to be limited in much smaller numbers. But I think still make a mindful choice, because the enzymes in the stomach cannot cope with so many combinations of food. Keep it simple. Keep a raw food diet in that platter as well. Some sort of raw food that you can crunch on. But beyond our diet, we need a good calorie intake as well, sensible calorie intake, not over 1,000 or 1,500 for those who are on heavy exercise. I'm sure they're following the right calorie intake as well. But you do need to look at stress and emotions as well. And it could be also due to addiction of drugs, children that people have, that they'll crave more for carbohydrates, those who are addicted to drugs. And those people who are constipated would want a lot of potatoes, a lot of stodgy stuff, a lot of chips. They'll want a lot of crisps, because it gives them that comfort, as food just sits there, and they'll crave for all stodgy foods. This is a psychology and things that I've tried to understand in my clinic over years, what people do. But self-control and awareness is what we want to do, and the loss of tooth and tooth decay is so much a big problem because of the sugar content, and we are not helping ourselves and becoming a cause of victims for the kind of food that we eat.
Right.
Yeah. So food monitoring is important. Keeping your weight, according to your height and your BMI, you need to know what are the right foods. So when my patients come to me, we look at their background, what their lifestyle is, their wake up pattern, sleep pattern, whether they are shift workers. And with that, we ascertain whatever we can do, or my side, that I would dictate a proper diet program for them, and they can follow that. So the clinic number for the stomach issues, bloatedness, heartburn, reflux, everything that we do is 079 886 37295. And there are a lot of fad diets as well, so you need to become careful and not rush off, because the brain is very clever and is capable of thinking and learning and adapting to many things, but when it sees distress or something that it's starving from, you will get wrong signals.
जी बिल्कुल ते मंजू जी ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਬਲੋਟਨੈਸ ਦੀ ਤੇ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ, ਪਰ ਲੈਣੇ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ. ਕੀਪ ਲਿਸਨਿੰਗ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਸਟਾਰ.
Okay. This program is sponsored by the Vitality and Rejuvenation Clinic, IVA SL09DB. Call Manjit Kaur on 01753 651 475 or 07988 637 295. Email Manjit at manjitkaur51@yahoo.co.uk.
Listen live or listen again at our new look site, www.asianstar1016.co.uk.
Hello, this is Mark Denham, and you can join me in the morning at 7 a.m. on Asian Star for the breakfast show. We have the big Asian beats. We've got the travel news, we've got weather, we've got so much more as well. Plus, that mystery sound is back, and it's all happening 7 until 10 right here on Asian Star, on FM across Slough, Windsor, Maidenhead and beyond, on DAB Plus across London, Birmingham and Manchester, and online via asianstar1016.co.uk or our mobile app.
Have you downloaded the Asian Star Radio free mobile app yet? Listening to Asian Star has become even simpler and more convenient. Our latest app lets you listen to Asian Star Radio on your Android or iPhone anytime. It's free and easy to download. Search on iPhone App Store or Play Store for Asian Star Radio and download for free. And you can access Asian Star's social media platforms via the app too. Listen at home, in your car, abroad or whilst you're travelling. The Asian Star Radio app is a great new way of listening to your favourite radio station. Asian Star Radio free mobile app, making life easier for our listeners.
ट्रक ड्राइवर बनना चाहते हो? Then look no further. आज ही हैरी ड्राइविंग स्कूल फॉर ट्रक्स ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ HGV ਕਲਾਸ 1 ਐਂਡ 2 ਅਤੇ CPC ਥਿਉਰੀ ਐਂਡ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਐਕਸਪਰਟ ਹਨ। ਹੈਰੀ ਡਰਾਈਵਿੰਗ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸਸ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਅਫੋਰਡੇਬਲ, ਪੇ ਐਜ਼ ਯੂ ਗੋ ਅਤੇ ਪੈਕੇਜ ਡੀਲਸ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ। ਸਾਡੇ ਵਹੀਕਲਸ ਈਜ਼ੀ ਟੂ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਅਤੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ, ਹਿੰਦੀ ਤੇ ਉਰਦੂ ਸਪੀਕਿੰਗ ਇੰਸਟ੍ਰਕਟਰਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ। ਲਾਇਸੈਂਸ ਪਾਸ ਕਰਵਾਉਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੌਬ ਲੱਭਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸਹਾਇਤਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਆਫਰ 10% ਆਫ ਫॉर ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਸਟਾਰ ਲਿਸਨਰਸ। ਸੋਚਦੇ ਕੀ ਹੋ? ਹੁਣੇ ਹੀ ਫੋਨ ਮਿਲਾਓ 07737208834 or visit harrydrivingschool.co.uk. Harry Driving School for Trucks, based near Heathrow.
मेरा नाम डॉक्टर सायरा बेग है और मैं स्लाउ में जीपी हूँ। इस वक्त हम सबको अपनी और अपने ख़ानदान की हिफाजत की ज़रूरत है, ख़ास तौर पे जबकि आप तंबाकू नोशी करते हों। तंबाकू नोशी फेफड़ों और दिफाई निज़ाम को नुकसान पहुँचाती है, जिससे इन्फेक्शन से लड़ने में और भी मुश्किल हो जाती है और इससे दिल की बीमारी, शुगर, फेफड़ों की बीमारी, फालिज और कैंसर के खतरात बढ़ जाते हैं। और इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर आपको कोरोना वायरस लग जाए तो इलामात और भी शदीद हो जाती हैं। जिस लम्हे आप तंबाकू नोशी बंद करते हैं, आपकी सेहत बेहतर होना शुरू हो जाती है। कभी भी देर नहीं होती। तंबाकू नोशी को छोड़ने की मदद के लिए सर्च स्मोक फ्री।
Radio, all the mix.
More music, less talk.
I do the beat, y'all, and you don't stop.
On Asian Star 101.6 FM.
Now kick in a funky beat.
This programme is sponsored by the Vitality and Rejuvenation Clinic, IVA SL09DB. Call Manjit Kaur on 01753 651 475 or 07988 637 295. Email Manjit at manjitkaur51@yahoo.co.uk.
वेलकम बैक ऑन एशियन स्टार मल्टी अवार्ड विनिंग रेडियो स्टेशन जी। बिल्कुल जिथे भी सुन रहे, जिस भी तरीके ਨਾਲ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮਨਜੀਤ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵਨਸ ਅਗੇਨ। ਮਨਜੀਤ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੈਲਕਮ। ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਕ ਕਾਲਰ ਨੇ, ਲੈ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ।
ओके जी,
हेलो जी, वेलकम ऑन एशियन स्टार।
जी गुड आफ्टरनून। मैं जरा डॉक्टर साहब से पूछना था कि मुझे आस्मा है, उसके लिए कोई डाइट वगैरह या कुछ
आप
कौन?
हाँ जी, वेलकम टू द शो। वेल, इस वक्त केटर नहीं कर सकूंगी डाइट। आप मेरा क्लिनिक का नंबर लिख लो एंड देन विल स्पीक एंड एट दैट नंबर एंड गिव यू सम सॉर्ट ऑफ लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस, है ना। दिस टाइम वी आर ओनली स्पीकिंग अबाउट स्टमक एंड डाइजेशन। नंबर लिख लिया मेरे क्लिनिक का?
जी नहीं, बोलें प्लीज।
079 886 372 95। ठीक है, आप कॉल कीजिए शो से बाद और फिर वी कैन हेल्प यू। ठीक है जी,
ठीक है जी, थैंक यू। आपको इंग्लिश मेडिसिन देते हैं या?
नहीं, आई डोंट वर्क विद एलोपैथिक। मेरी देसी दवाइयाँ होती है, आयुर्वेदा, होम्योपैथी, नेचुरोपैथी होती है दवाइयाँ, सब नेचुरल, है ना।
ठीक है,
थैंक यू।
थोड़ा प्लीज गाइड मुझे करना।
थैंक यू, बाय।
जी बिल्कुल, आपने बिल्कुल नहीं बताया कहाँ से कॉल किया। खैर कोई बात नहीं, नेक्स्ट टाइम डेफिनेटली बताएं हमें कि कहाँ से कॉल कर रहे हैं। तो जी मंजीत जी,
because asking for the diet right now, we need to find out so much about the patient specifically, and that cannot be catered right now, है ना? But they are very welcome to call later. So thank you so much and really appreciate the time they have taken to listen and also call, है ना? So we are working with digestion and this 31 foot of gut system of digestive track, 31 feet. This room is about just over about
12?
no,
Around
about
10,
10
12?
feet. So make this 3 times the size of this room.
Mm-hmm.
Is your from your mouth to the anal wall is from where the food has to travel before it exits. 31 feet of alimentary canal.
God.
So we got to be so
Unbelievable.
kind and empathetic to what our food intake is. And the worst one obviously is deep fried foods, which are seriously saturated, and I obviously seriously condone them. There's some good oil you can use. We can talk about that, but we won't publicize them here right now. But every patient that comes, I'll give them lifestyle changes and how they can improve their issues. Na? So like this patient who came to me for for 10 years, she never had a problem at all for all the symptoms. She came until she went to India and ended up having that problem. So it now has to be a little bit different. I've also started with another patient yesterday, very young, very huge amount of pain, but very, very bloated. So we'd look at that first and then help with the pain and the anxiety he's getting because of the bloatedness. And I think with every culture right now, deep fried food is such a big thing. It seems like people just want beige and brown and crispy food. And if you look at the Indian world or Punjabi Asian world of deep fried foods, mostly pakode or spring rolls and bread pakode, seriously saturated. Honestly, we need to become so mindful that you can make the same thing in the oven, lightly glaze it, and type 2 diabetes is a serious problem with the Asian community, huge problem. So and cholesterol. Serious problems in the Asian community, and it blocks your arteries. It doesn't help your arteries, deep fried food. So become mindful about that. And it has got poor nutritional value other than the little filling in there. Whatever it is, of peas or potatoes, but the rest of the stuff on the outside, the pastry is actually just dead calories, and dead food and white flour. That could cause heartburn. Snacking on these kind of heavy foods, prostate cancers, acid reflux is a serious problem, like we discussed. And that can, and it robs you of all the nutrients because your food is now got very high fat, and the rest of the goodness of the food won't break up. The healthier choices of oils are there in the market with which you can. Discuss with me when you come to me. But the other biggest problem obviously is drinking, tea and coffee soon after your food. You need to avoid that because that can bloat you and the food ferments. And the typical Indian style is must have a cup of tea after a meal. It's really, you've devalued your meal big time, and that would cause a lot of bloatedness or burping or acid reflux.
This can make difficult to digest the food.
Of course, seriously, because it's an acid, and your body does not need that. You need to let the food break down the proteins, the carbohydrates, the fats, whatever kind of combination you've done, and give it time to digest before you decide to have a cuppa.
How much time? Like
about an hour and a half.
Okay, an hour and a half.
And I hope people are patient with that. To see anything help you on digestion. But once the lining is spoiled, Preet, you need to sort that out because there's huge amount of English drugs given for stomach issues, and in the Punjabi world for Ayurvedist and people who do natural remedies, they look at the stomach and the bowels as the biggest problem, is the core problem of mother of all diseases. Start from there. So if you don't tackle that, then even giving them a natural remedy will not digest properly. They won't be able to absorb that properly. So become mindful of that. However, Mediterranean diet is looked as much bit more healthier and favorable because of the monosaturated fats they use, and most of their food is not heavily salted. But then there is also less problems with the heart and cholesterols in some of the European countries purely because of the foods. And the bad oils, which are so readily available in Asian markets, are the hydrogenated oils, which are less effective for the stomach walls because they are rancid. Once you heat them for over 100 degrees, they become rancid, and the carbons in those oils are not very good for the stomach lining or for the heart, and they are very destructive. actually for the heart
Okay.
arteries. So
Right.
looking at that is very important, है ना?
Hmm.
And then obviously with the youngsters, I think parents need to help children make a good choice right from young age.
Yes,
Because I
yeah.
think we are there to guide them. And if you explain the child what, when, why, they
Right.
would have less chances over as they grow to make that mistake. And
I
training
agree.
your children before they go into school of making a right choice, giving them some raw food as a snack as well, instead of the packets of the crisp world, which are all saturated fats, है ना?
That's true.
And even if they are saying they are handmade crisps, that's another new words coming in. They are still deep fried.
Yes, yeah, I have seen that
Yeah.
as well.
So be mindful of that because it robs your body of the nutrients, and the essential oils are very important for your skin, for your heart, for your digestion, for the colon, for the softness of the stool, for the stomach lining. Every organ and every cell needs good fat and good oil, but not the kind of oils that we are using, the corn oil and the vegetable oil and the peanut oil. All those, when heated a little bit, create a smoke, which is not very good, Hannah. And then going in for a better, the trans fats in these oils, they actually increase your bad LDLs, and the triglycerides and insulin levels will then be shooting up. So very important to reduce these beneficial properties of these oils. You need to consume them more in raw form rather than cooking.
Okay.
That will help a lot more. But again, looking at food and nutrition is when you start, how do you start, what kind of state of mind do you eat them in? That's important, isn't it?
Yes,
and not rushing to have your cup of tea first thing in the morning. It's a habit. Once you break that habit and you say, I want to feed my body with the right food, it will change. It's giving the information to the subconscious mind. You will not go for the kettle.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and that will help you to avoid having seasonal colds and flus, because when your proteins are stodgy and they are starchy, you will have more mucus build up, jinu apa resha kende.
जी,
है ना?
अच्छा, अच्छा, ठीक.
And then the first change of season, you're bound to get a flu and cold. And the government is
of course,
already
yeah.
talking that, during the winter times, these two illnesses of seasonal flus,
Hanji.
winter flus, and the COVID-19 could be mixed up with the symptoms, of what you're
Hanji.
feeling.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
That can be
so
confusing as well.
It can confuse.
For
and
people, especially when you don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then looking at the yogurt world, there's so much sugar in the yogurt range. It's like, 20 feet long aisles just of yogurts and dairy products, and a huge amount of sugar when we used to, or even still do, have homemade yogurt, which a lot of people don't know how to make, and they have good properties and better to eat in.
Yeah,
them
I always
more,
make at home.
है
Yeah,
ना?
I
In
always
summer
make it,
rather than and reduce that in winter. है ना?
Hanji, yeah.
So many of these illnesses and problems are triggered off from food choice and stomach maldigestions of foods that can cause serious problems, not only to the stomach, but then if you go further down to the duodenum and the pylorus, and the pancreas has to get crazy busy to release pancreatic enzyme and the insulin to help
Hanji.
break up those foods. And then the liver has to work so hard. So, do justice to your body, because the liver has to break up all these foods. And if it doesn't have the right enzymes, it's just going to sit there, and you are going to end up going to have a fatty liver because of the
Right.
bad fats that are consumed in your daily routine. है ना?
Ha.
So right now with the consultation, I'm also doing a fantastic range of Ayurveda supplements that we are, and the powders are amazing. So if anybody is suffering from heartburn, bloatedness, or they have got digestive problems,
Hanji.
then you can do a phone consultation or a distant one-to-one consultation. That means that you're over 2 meters away, following all the regulations that we need to follow with. है ना?
Yes,
Phone online is what we are advising a lot, because we will still get the same. Sometimes we can do live,
Hanji.
Skype call and understand if I have to see the patient's tongue or their nails, or they need to point exactly where the pains are,
हाँ
those
जी,
can also be assessed over the phone, है ना?
हाँ
So a
जी।
lot of calls are coming to us because people are fearing to go to the GPs. Some things, obviously, we always advise them that it's best to go and get the blood test before they come to us, because there's nothing that we would say any less, because NHS service is great right now. I know they are a little bit more stricter in giving your appointment after assessing, and people just do not want to go through that whole worry and
Yeah.
concern and having to leave home.
That's main concern. That's
Fizzy
people's fear.
drinks don't help the stomach at all because they are carbonated. With that carbonated gases, your stomach, it does not neutralize.
हाँ
That
जी,
will become more gas within your lower colon,
ठीक है।
in the large bowel, and create more bloatedness. Some people say, "Oh yeah, I managed to burp with a fizzy drink." That's a little burp, but it does not neutralize. है ना? So become careful of the kind of drinks that you drink. It shouldn't be fizzy. They shouldn't be containing too many colors. As natural as possible, है ना? So the way we work is improving with detoxification, helping to reduce toxicity, है ना?
हाँ जी,
Putting you on a detox kind of protocol, and then stimulating these organs, the liver, the stomach, the pylorus, the duodenum, and the NAS scan is another one that I do, is amazing. That gives me a lot of information of what the organ function is or how depleted it is on the electromagnetic field disturbance. It gives us fantastic information and a clear insight of what's happening within your body. Yeah. And then I work with a lot of masking powders that we create and make mixes to help line your stomach walls or the gut walls that have actually been ruptured, or there's indentation of like pit marks, where there's
हाँ जी,
holes in your esophageal wall or holes in the stomach wall. Imagine how much, if hydrochloric acid can sit there, okay, imagine how much disruption you've caused to the stomach bag by creating these holes. It's like little pit marks, pits,
Okay.
है ना? And this is where the acid will brew so much that it has to jump up like a volcanic eruption, causing you that heartburn. So that has to calm down. So people would use antacids and other things to calm down, but what we do and how we work is with our powders that help mask that area, and then you're able to eat normal foods, but not the ones you were eating before, and have less symptoms. And it's amazing how well these powders and potions work. है ना? And then we work on looking at the organs that eliminate your food. So that's the colon, the small intestine, the large colon. That's very important. Obviously, walking, seriously very important, because right from the rib cage down is a very, very complex system of 28 feet of the gut wall. That is 28 feet long. 23 feet is the small and 5 foot is the large. So that can be toned by your breathing and your yoga exercises and deep inhalation, pushing your belly button in and out, and then walking, speed walking, treadmill walking. That's very important for the lower ab and the colon as well. But looking at the constipation, we always work with that as well, because people who are constipated may also have serious digestion problems as well, which might lead on to piles as well. है ना? For anybody who wants to do an online consultation, they shouldn't fear. If your children are having these kind of issues and problems, please call us on 079 886 37295 and try to look at your the carb cravings and stodgy carbs that the children are having.
जी
है ना?
बिल्कुल ते ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਲੈ ਲਈਏ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਕੀਪ ਲਿਸਨਿੰਗ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਸਟਾਰ
This program is sponsored by the Vitality and Rejuvenation Clinic, IVA SL09DB. Call Manjit Kaur on 01753 651 475 or 07988 637 295. Email Manjit at manjitkaur51@yahoo.co.uk.
Broadcasting around the world on Asian Star 1016.co.uk.
Have you downloaded the Asian Star Radio free mobile app yet? Listening to Asian Star has become even simpler and more convenient. Our latest app lets you listen to Asian Star Radio on your Android or iPhone anytime. It's free and easy to download. Search on iPhone App Store or Play Store for Asian Star Radio and download for free. And you can access Asian Star's social media platforms via the app too. Listen at home, in your car, abroad, or whilst you're travelling. The Asian Star Radio app is a great new way of listening to your favourite radio station. Asian Star Radio free mobile app, making life easier for our listeners.
This is the moment. A new start. Now the UK has left the EU.
Time for us to get going.
To seize new opportunities as we transition to our new relationship.
Get moving.
It's on our hands now.
So we've got to get started.
Truck drivers.
Tech entrepreneurs.
Engineers.
Fishermen.
Farmers.
Lawyers. Makers. Holiday makers.
Creators.
Big business. Small business. Travelling for business.
We all need to plan ahead.
Check the guidance, make the changes, and let's get going.
Sign up now at gov.uk/transition and check, change, go for the UK's new start.
तुम्हारी नाजुक कलाइयों में मैं भी पहना दूं कुछ नए ख्वाब। भाभी सिर्फ ख्वाब ही पहनाना, मैं तो खूब सजाऊंगी। कानों में झुमके, हाथों में कंगन, गले में नौलखा हार। मुझे कुछ ऐसा चाहिए जो बाकी सारी ब्राइड से अलग हो। लेटेस्ट डिजाइन वाली 22 कैरेट गोल्ड, कुंदन, पोल्की और एंटीक। कहाँ से बनवाएं? श्री गणेश ज्वेलर्स, स्पेशलिस्ट इन 22 कैरेट गोल्ड ज्वेलरी। दे ऑल्सो ट्रेड ओल्ड गोल्ड फॉर न्यू, रिपेयर्स एंड वैल्यूएशंस। यहाँ पर वैट फ्री गोल्ड बार्स भी अवेलेबल हैं इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए। श्री गणेश ज्वेलर्स, Berkshire's largest showroom off Whitby Road near Ramgarhia Gurudwara, with our one and only branch at 6 Woodland Avenue, Slough. Parking available, open 7 days a week. Visit us for any occasion. Call 01753 518 777.
Immigration issues or immigration problems, overstayed in the UK or have a child aged 5 or 7 and want to apply on their basis? Do you need to bring your spouse or partner into the UK or family reunions? Need a work permit, student visa or a business visa? Do you want to apply for British citizenship and make a British passport, or are you a business and need a sponsor license? Then look no further. Contact City Law Immigration today for all your immigration needs. For these and any other immigration queries, please contact Sandhya Parmar at City Law Immigration Limited to make an appointment in Birmingham or Slough. Call on 07701 037 908 or visit our website city-law.co.uk. Please note we have now moved to our new address, Regal Court Business Centre, 42 to 44 High Street, Slough, SL1 1EL.
Oh my God! Asian Star 101.6 FM. Now online and streaming worldwide at asianstar1016.co.uk and on 101.6 FM. The Asian Star revolution has started and you're part of it.
Asian Star 101.6 FM.
This programme is sponsored by the Vitality and Rejuvenation Clinic, IVA SL09DB. Call Manjit Kaur on 01753 651 475 or 07988 637 295. Email Manjit at manjitkaur51@yahoo.co.uk.
Welcome back on Asian Star Radio, on FM, online, on DAB Plus, and on online and on your mobile, anywhere. Wherever you are listening, you are welcome on Asian Star, and we have live guest Manjeet ji, and we are talking about obesity and the bloatedness. So let's see, continue.
Ji.
Hello Manjeet ji.
Hello ji. So bloatedness is a serious problem. It does not look at age or gender or whether they are young or old. Even young babies, when they are actually feeling windy,
I have
they
seen
are
this.
bloated in the abdomen, and they build up a lot of wind. So either they have milk allergies or milk sensitivity, and there's huge problems. Dairy and milk are the biggest culprits for the bloatedness, and that can cause a lot of trapped wind, especially for young babies who can only cry and scream in agony. Yeah. So the way we work is trying to reduce the inflammation and stop the inflammation in the stomach lining, give you a sensible diet, limiting this oxidative stress, and ensuring your diet is rich in antioxidants and in good raw food as well. And, bringing regularity, also having a good bowel movement is very important, because that and helping you to reduce your dependency on sugar and sugar food diets, because we've just told you the conversion of sugar is not very good. It's alcohol into the system and improving, helping you to understand more about the good essential fats in the diet, very important for lining the stomach walls, very good for every cell in the body. And then preserving and helping you with looking at the gut integrity and working with the colon wall, so you actually don't have a dry stool and you don't have a hard stool, or you don't have a loose stool, because when people have sensitivities or they are bloated or they have digestive problems, so then their bowels will be affected as well, and that could trigger off with piles, or protruding piles or bleeding piles. And we have a amazing complex for piles as well, where people don't have to go for surgery, and a cream preparation as well. That helps the piles to shrink, but that also goes with having good quality fiber diet. But I'm not saying that wheat grain is a fiber. That's dead, insoluble fiber. There's red rice, there's brown rice, there's other flax seeds that you can consume, the new potatoes, the sweet potatoes. They have good fiber and good kind of carbohydrates, which are not stodgy, as long as you do them properly, and not, if you're having a potato and you fry it, that doesn't help.
Yes.
It has to be prepared the right way. And a lot of people end up having gut infections when they have stomach issues and stomach acid refluxes. Comfort foods, which are the bad foods,
that's true.
Try to limit those as much, and try to listen out. There's a lot going to be said in the by the government as well to help reduce weight, but the first thing they're saying is exercise and start eating less sugar. Carbohydrate craving, like ice creams and the cup world, and cakes, and the amount of marzipan and the icing on cakes, is about like a good literally over a quarter inch to even half an inch before you get to the cake.
1 inch layer.
Honestly, it's so ridiculous. High in sugar obviously creates the levels of serotonin that can make you feel very awake through the night, and your brain chemicals that can be disturbed with all these mood swings until you don't have the sugar. You will feel dumb and down. So sugar cravings and having sugar will be a little spike of sugar, but that's seriously still not good. So if you want to look at weight loss, then everything is done structurally per patient for the kind of lifestyle you have, and the age factor, and the remedies or the drugs you're having can also disturb your stomach lining. Maybe initially you didn't have that. Alcohol is a serious problem, obviously, as well. It doesn't help the liver, doesn't help the stomach lining either. There are some other good quality ones that I advise, but we won't suggest them over the phone here, over the live show right now. And people who are seriously starving themselves are not helping themselves, or going on fad diets. One diet karke fir chhad dende, then they go to another one, and they're really fooling their body. Yes, intermittent fasting is good, because that does help the stomach to digest the food and let it leave from the system before you introduce the next meal. So that fasting is also advised, but done in a very structured way. So if you are a blood pressure patient or you're diabetic, then you need to be mindful, because we would advise you accordingly. Because diabetic patients would need a few short meals in between the day as well to support their blood sugars. Soft drinks, serious problems, a huge range of soft drinks, and these energy drinks so high in sugar, about 4 to 5 teaspoons of sugar in each can.
Energy drinks.
Yes. And very, very high in coffee or caffeine. In caffeine.
So there is no difference between energy drink. It's just a name.
It's a little pickup
more
that
or
you
less,
have.
more or
make
less
mindful choices, and I really support raw food, but also fresh juicing. Very important, because most patients will end up having a very good protocol from us, and as soon as they've finished speaking to us, they are ready to go into a store and do a big shop. Because they know that's going to help them change.
Yes.
So become mindful of these beverages and drinks that you're buying for your children. They are huge. Even the ones people leave the gym and they'll open up a bottle, and that's high sugar. So whatever you've lost, or the calories you've lost, you've bounced them back again. And sugar dependency doesn't help the energy to get the cells fuel. on the fat, है ना?
जी, बिल्कुल.
So that's very important because every cell can be affected by sugar, है ना? And reducing all digestible sugars like potatoes and stodgy potatoes and white rice and the white bread and those that say half, even those are just fooling you and your taste buds. There's so many other better choices, because going into this, you're actually the food timing, it regulates your glycogen sugars, and that is ketosis, induces ketosis, and that's the side effects of burning fat. So if you want to burn fat, then we need to look at a structured program, give you intermittent fasting, juicing, reduce the ketosis as well, and help you to move a little bit, to do maybe a bit of Bhangra dance, Zumba dance. All these are helping and will help you to even sleep better and have better digestion, but also fat burning. So detoxification food is what we advise, and a simple one, if you are bloated, then you can take, I'll give one recipe. So it's taking about 1.5 glasses of water or hot water from the kettle in a pan, about a teaspoon of fennel, about half a teaspoon of fenugreek, and then you need 2 cloves, 2 cinnamon, and 2 green lychee. Boil this to the point that you've got about half of it left. Grate a half ginger and put the juice of that ginger, or put the ginger which is finely grated, and then add in a 1/4 teaspoon or a 1/2 teaspoon of coconut oil and sip that to help with your digestion and bloatedness. So that's a wonderful one, very easy to do. I'm not very much into the herb teas because they are too mild for me. I would prefer them stronger. To make a good herb tea, I would use 3 to 4 packets. And then I can taste it, because they're just so placidly low. And then the dried herbs, obviously, most of the goodness of that has already gone. Keeping a platter of greens and a good amount of salad, and having cabbage as well, but not cooking cabbage, because cabbage does bloat and give a lot of gas as well. So try to have raw cabbage, red, and a little bit of shredded white cabbage. And then if you look at the mayonnaise world and salad dressings and guar gum, these are very bloating. So become mindful and look out for guar gum or xanthan gum or thickeners in foods. You will be shocked. As you go through aisle and aisle, you will be finding that these thickeners are added even to ice creams to stop them dribbling down, to mousses, to ice creams, to kids' desserts. Everywhere these xanthan gums are very, very bloating. So become mindful of that. And then having a huge at least avocado, half an avocado. That reminds me, I've got an avocado to eat for lunch. And ginger is a very good digester. Some people of some ethnic communities probably don't like ginger, but the Punjabi diet is very, very high in ginger. But we kill it. We kill all the goodness of ginger. Then limitation and elimination of food is very important. Looking at allergies, because you may even have food allergies that bloat you. So the moment you eat, the same dress or the same trousers you're wearing, you can't fit into them by afternoon or evening. You know?
Because of you bloated. And you have had bad food.
Exactly.
Not healthy.
Not healthy food. And then looking at food which is rich in good fiber, eating good fiber, a few dried fruits, there's lots of beautiful fruits right now in the market, soft fruits, summer fruits. Oh, they are so delicious. Even talking about them right now, it's mouth-watering. Yeah. And obviously, looking at good enzymes which are in when you are overcooking food, you're killing up the nutrients and the enzymes in those foods and the minerals. So don't overcook your food to the point that there's nothing left. Especially even vegetables. I think we cook so much that we actually lose all the goodness. And a lot of people who already have stomach problems often will say, oh, I can't digest lemon. Well, a lemon converts to alkaline. and it's not an acid. But because their stomach lining is already so disturbed, then those foods actually they react with, है ना? So human connection with the body, mind, and food is such an amazing chemistry that we need to observe and look at it in a very mindful way, है ना? The My Clinic number 4 appointments for any digestive problems, cholesterol problems, colitis, bleeding colon, skin conditions, eczema, anxiety, panic attacks, stress, depression, sleeplessness, insomnia, children not putting up weight, or children's concentration. We make some amazing flower remedies. My clinic number is 079-886-37295. I've also written a book called Health Haven, which you can check on my Facebook as well, which is available on Amazon. And that also gives you a lot of information of what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat. But this is here, when you come to the clinic, everything is tailor-made for you.
Thank you very much Manjeet ji, and इसी बहुत वैल्यूएबल इन्फॉर्मेशन ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਮਨਜੀਤ ਜੀ ਨੇ। आई होप ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਸੁਣੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਕੰਸਲਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ। ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਲੈਣੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ, ਇੱਥੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਮੇਟਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਵਾਅਦਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਮਿਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਟੁਮਾਰੋ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਤੇ ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਣਾ। ਕੀਪ ਲਿਸਨਿੰਗ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਸਟਾਰ। ਰੱਬ ਰਾਖਾ।
This program is sponsored by the Vitality and Rejuvenation Clinic, IVA SL09DB. Call Manjit Kaur on 01753 651 475 or 07988 637 295. Email Manjit at manjitkaur51@yahoo.co.uk.
Asian Star 101.6 FM.
मेरे सपनों की रानी कब आएगी तू?
आएगी नहीं बल्कि आ चुकी है आपके सपनों की रानी और दिलों की धड़कन। मैं हूँ अनु फ्लोरा, आपकी पेशकारा। आप सबकी खिदमत में पेश रहती हूँ मंडे टू वेडनेसडे दोपहर 1 से लेके शाम के 4 बजे तक ऑन FM, ऑनलाइन एंड DAB+ पर लंदन में, बर्मिंघम और मैनचेस्टर में। इसके अलावा आप ऐप भी डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। साथ निभाने का बेहद शुक्रिया।
जिथे चलूंगा चलूंगी नाल तेरे पे टिकटां 2 ले लें। हुण 2 टिकटां लैण दी जरूरत नहीं, हुणे डाउनलोड करो एशियन स्टार रेडियो ऐप अपने स्मार्ट डिवाइसेस ते, फिर रखो एशियन स्टार रेडियो नू अपनी मुट्ठी विच बंद। मानो इहदे खूबसूरत म्यारी प्रोग्रामां दा आनंद 7 दिन 24 घंटे।